Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talked about what's really happening.
And let's have conversations about what truth is.
Well, it's just a disgrace that the taxpayer has to constantly fund Victoria Police taking me to the courts for just more nonsense, offensive behaviour charges.
Is it nonsense though? Because the taxpayer wasn't happy with what they saw at that rally.
Well, you don't speak for the taxpayer. You're part of a corporate entity that is anti-Australia. So you don't actually speak for the Australian people. You're a nefarious agent of the mainstream media. So I think you'll find the average Australian does not want thousands or millions of illegal Indian immigrants staying in the country. And that's what we were protesting against. There were thousands of self-entitled, despicable people that think it's their right to be a part of our nation. And they were protesting outside Tony Burke's office, who, might I add, deported healthy, wholesome white families from this country. Shut up, you fat dork. Film this fucking loser. Look at these freaks. You're a fat, disgusting dork. Shut the fuck up. Anyway. Tony Burke, no.
Every time you're out here, there's drama.
There is always drama, but it's not seeking attention to me, it's seeking attention to the issue. And the primary issue in Australia and the whole Western world is white replacement. That is the primary issue. That's the only thing we actually want to talk about. And you're looking at your phone, you're looking how to change the subject, because the media do not want to talk about this subject. They don't want to talk about white replacement. We want to reverse the process. We don't want Australia turning into a third world country. We don't want it turning into India. We don't want it turning into Sudan. We want it to remain Australian. That is the primary issue. And you always want to change the subject and attack the man. You don't want to play the important game. You want to attack the man. You don't want to attack the idea. You don't want to touch on white replacement. You want to touch on my personal behaviour. Not guilty.
Thank you. Done.
Oh yeah. You. You're scum. They don't want to talk about the big issues. What they want to talk about is, are you guilty or are you not guilty for this minutia that doesn't matter? We protested foreign immigrants that are demanding that they stay in the country, and we protested that. We said you shut the fuck up. We said that was self-entitled, that it was disrespectful, that it was anti-Australian. And we said an ancient Australian proverb, off with fool. And they want to take us to court and put us in chains.
I think we're tired of being tired. I want you to take a look at this movement that's happening across the world. It's not just here in the United States. And one of the fears that I've had is that they've tried to make it isolated. They said, oh, it's just a small group of people in the United States. A vast majority of people in the United States recognize this replacement theory. It's actually replacement theology. There's a religion to this. You look at Australia, Europe, France, and inside Europe, you still look at Ireland, France, Germany, Scotland. Everyone is tired of them taking from us what was never theirs to take. And what's more important is that they want to attack white people. It's white people. Sorry, that's what it is. You have people in this country, and by the way, most black people would agree with this. Most black people, most normal black people, most normal brown people, most normal Asians, most normal people who have a brain would agree with what I'm saying. White people are under attack, and they have created, now, at the same time they're under attack, I just want to point out something. The same time they're under attack, you have a country that is white that is saying, we're not white. We're our own color. It's like color now comes in different, and because I'm partially that, I can say without a doubt that there are people out there that are running around, mostly white, liberal, radical women, and weak feminist men, they're running around saying that, oh, we're not a part of that white stuff. Let me just tell you what it actually means, though. If you're a black person and you have values, you're called an Uncle Tom. If you're a Hispanic that has values, you're called confused. If you're a white person that has values, here's the common denominator between all of those people: Christian. See, white people are predominantly Christian, but you can't come out and attack Christians. You're not allowed to do that, right? That would cause an uproar. So instead, you have entire groups of people that have perfected dog whistles, homophobia, anti-Semitism, racism, bigotry. Any isms that you have out there are tied into people who are Christian. It is attack against values. It is attack against Christian values. But this guy in Australia has had enough, and this is happening everywhere. You talk about the Nordic countries and what's happening in Iceland, and it's really, really bad. You have a vast majority of people that, frankly, are boiling at a rate that is just not good. People in the UK, they're meeting in backdoor pubs, trying to figure out how they can stay legal and still fight. And yet, in the United States, we can all recognize that our judiciary is rotted at the core, our government has become tyrannical, and we're on the edge of not a civil war, but of going after the very people who are in government that have betrayed our communities, our states, and our country. The courts rule in favor of immigrants in the name of exclusivity and diversity, instead of supporting fundamental law. They make it a right that people have to give to them what is not theirs to take. We talk about what has it done for us since this happened? What has it done for us? Let's talk about our education systems. Our kids in 2026, 30% of them can read and write. Most of those kids are homeschooled or have parents that have, let me tell you what they all have in common. You ready? Christian. I want you to see this. This is in Philadelphia. This is a teen in Philadelphia that wanted to expose his classmates' inability to just, I don't know, you check it out.
Read the end of the score for me.
She wore a suit, clothes that were, who's this for? Extraordinary, but somewhat Gertrude?
Now explain what that means.
I don't know.
She wore a sahalat of clothes that were extraordinary, whatever, bro, but somewhat gooch.
What does that mean?
She wore a lot. Wait, she wore, bro, I don't know, bro. Can you take the card back, please?
She wore a, oh baby. She wore a silhouette of clothes that were, bitch, I don't know that word. I don't even know how to read. I don't know why I did this.
She wore a silhouette of clothes that were extraordinary, but somewhat gauche.
All right, now what does that mean?
I have no idea. Like his clothes is nice or something like that.
She wore a, I don't know what this should say. I don't know what this should say. I don't know what this should say. I can't read it. Can't read it. Can't read it. Cancel back.
A part of you wants to laugh. You want to laugh at these young people. That's the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party that's owned by the Democrat Socialists of America, that says that if you're going to go into a position, you now have to pledge your fealty to the Democrat Socialists of America, who want your kids to turn out like these kids. These kids should be able to sue the living crap out of the school system for what they've done to them. This is abuse, and the parents tolerate it. And what's worse about that is that we have people, and I want to bring it down to Colorado real quick. By the way, that young man that you just saw is being threatened with expulsion and not being allowed to graduate. Now, obviously, he can read, but his classmates can't. And what he's trying to point out is that they have not prepared these kids for the real world. And you wonder why you have the school to prison pipeline. You wonder why you have a breakdown of societal norms when this is what's happening. But here's what happens, and this is what's happening in Colorado. If you don't like it, you can just do this.
The liberals ruined Colorado. It's just not safe here anymore. There's crime and homeless everywhere. Everywhere. Can you just move to Arkansas or something? I don't know why you guys are so triggered by everything in Colorado. You guys don't enjoy Colorado, just move. I hated Nebraska and I moved to Colorado. Also, I've been downtown a million times. I've never been in a situation where I think I'm going to,
More people from outside of Colorado coming here and bringing their just demented things. But then you have this guy. Play it.
Finna go to the all-white grocery store and mess with these white folks. They gonna think I'm Muslim. See what they gonna do. I'll let you know how it turns out.
An all-white grocery store. Anybody ever seen one of those? They don't exist. You certainly don't see an all-white Costco. And anybody that's been to Costco knows exactly what I'm talking about. We are, before I got on today, because we have some great guests, I'm going to go through that stuff with the guests. I said to myself, every day that I get on the podcast, I try to tell things about people and things that are going on out there. And a part of me goes, all right, we need to do that. We need to make sure we put this out there that, everyone becomes educated. Then I get to the part where I go, but what are we doing about it? And one of the things that I've been really good at is solving problems, like going in and working the problem. And this problem is so big that we thought we'd solve it. I mean, I spent 6 years on the road, going out and going from state to state, putting over 1 million miles on an airplane. 1 million miles. 1 million miles. And you'd say, Joe, come on, you can't be serious. All right, let me show you. I think it still shows over 1 million. Yeah, here we go. Here you go. I don't know if you can get into that. Can you get close to that? Can you gear in on that? Get close to it? Is it going to let you? It's not going to let you, is it? There it is. Oh, almost at it. Let's see if I can show you. It's not letting me. It's not going to. Come on, this is crushing me. It is. It won't even pick it up, will it? Oh, here. Put it right here. Does it pick it up now? No? Okay. It just did it. It almost picked it up. Okay, let me just read it to you. 1,025,636 miles over the last 6 years. It was actually more than that. So it's probably closer to like 1.2 or 1.3 million miles. And that was from just literally flying everywhere. And yeah, I picked United, and that's where I've stayed. But we've done a lot of this stuff, and we keep trying to solve the problem. And we talk about the greater magistrate and how do we actually get behind people that can stand up for what's right. We had the COVID era, and then they went with vaccines in us. And every single time there's a portion of our countries, because you saw what was happening in Australia, They keep standing up and fighting against this, and a vast majority of people sit back and they're like, I'm just going to take it on the chin. I'm just going to take it on the chin. I just need to make a paycheck. But every country in the world is facing the same conspiracy against the people. They didn't just wake up one day and say, okay, we're going to have this replacement theology in all these states and all these countries. They planned it. So I just need you to know that we're going to keep working the problem, and I'm going to show up every day and do this show. But we've got to figure out a way to do more than just sit back and talk about what they're doing to us, victimizing us. And I wanted you to see this. Mike Caputo put this out. The FBI is spying on the Trump team today, right now. Okay. How do I know? I caught them. Here's the secret search warrant they filed against me, a Trump staffer, after President Trump won in 2024. They continue spying on me until December 10th, 2025, 1 year into the new Trump admin, 5 months ago. They're still spying now. And if you go into it, you can see that they actually were spying on President Trump. What was it, like 1 degree or 2 degrees of separation that they can actually start pulling stuff? This is redacted. We'll put it up so you guys can read through it as well. We are so tired, and we say that we're tired, and we talk about being tired, and frankly, it's mind-numbing just how much bullshit we have to put up with. So we're going to have some guests on today who are going to share their experiences about being tired of the system. And you've had a couple of them that you've met before, and then we have Sherry McGann that's going to be on as well. You've met Steve and Mike before. They've gone through quite a bit, and this is the case out of Honesdale, Pennsylvania, and they got sabotaged. They had a great business idea. They went in and purchased a piece of property. They did everything right, and now they have a settlement. So they went to court, fought it all the way through, paid for it, mortgaged their house, did all sorts of stuff. And we've been able to find, I think it's at last check, it's like 23 or 24 people that they're doing the same thing to in the city. And they basically are just doing whatever they want to the American people with impunity. And the amount of times that I've gone through this, and now I want to remind you guys, we have a sitting judge that is coming forward. We're in this negotiation stage right now of how do I protect the identity of that person. And then we have previous judges that were on the bench that have a lot to say about how rotten the judiciary is. So I'm going to bring them on real quick. We'll get an update on the case that they're going through, but they have them dead to rights. They have them dead to rights, and they're trying to steal a nearly $4.7 million verdict. So with that said, Steve, Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
It just never ends, does it? I feel like you're always fighting an uphill battle, pushing the boulder uphill, and you get to the very top, and they're like, yeah, now push it up the rest of the hill.
Well, I always say every time we win, we lose. So you get through the court systems, and then when you think you've won, then they come back and slap you in the face with something else.
None of it proper, but that doesn't matter.
How pervasive do you think this is for the American people?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that the judiciary at all levels has become a good old boys club, and they just have their routines and their procedures and their things, and I mean, we're still trying to fight through it, but it's like trying to pull teeth from a tiger.
So you went to court, you won, got a settlement. Right before the settlement, so people don't understand or don't remember this, right before the settlement, before the jury came back with a verdict, they removed both of you as plaintiffs in the case.
After 15 years. Yes, and we have the evidence now from the transcripts that was done illegally, and we're working on that, hopefully with a friend of yours that we set up.
And as you started putting this stuff out there, you know, now we have the bankruptcy trustee that's involved in this. His name is Mark Conway, right?
That's
He's the
the
old
trustee.
He's the old trustee.
He's the old,
but he's currently a judge. He's currently a judge in the same system.
So they moved him up. They moved up the
Correct.
incompetence into the deal.
Right. Everybody in government fails up, it would seem, in this area. But
Well,
the
it seems
new
that's
trustee
across the
is
country.
Joe Durkin. The
Oh yeah.
So what's the outcome then? Based on this, they just did something else to you, right? So let's go ahead and put this up. This is, you're trying to dismiss a Chapter 11 and convert it to a Chapter 7 because you have the ability to satisfy all the bills, correct?
That was 10 years ago. All right. This was
but they haven't ruled on it yet.
No, they did after 9 years. It took the court 9 years to rule on it. And it ruled that we didn't have standing to bring it.
Well, how did you not have standing to bring it when it was Smith and Morris Holdings in the Chapter 11?
Well, the prior judge that was on our case said we did have standing. And so did Ledbetter, correct, Mike?
Yeah, Judge Thomas said we did have standing.
So you did have standing, and then what happened? They came back and said you didn't have standing?
Correct. After Judge Thomas had passed away.
Right. Now we were converted from an 11 to a 7 with no notice. And that was, I believe that's in 16 is this docket you're looking at here. And we were converted with no notice to us, no notice to our attorney, Roger Mates, who wrote.
So who did the conversion? Who did the conversion without your knowledge?
Mark Conway, who is now Judge Conway. We never got notified in the mail of the hearing. Never were notified.
Nor did our attorney.
What year was this?
We have the transcript from Judge Thomas stating right in the transcript, where's Mr. Morris? Where's Roger Mates? They're always here.
Okay, so then how did they get away with it? Did you know that it converted from a 13 to a 7 or 11 to a 7?
After the fact.
Yeah, after the fact.
So why didn't you fight it then?
We did. We appealed it to the federal court, and the federal court sat on it for 9 years, almost 9 years. We filed, I think it was 2016, and we got an answer in April of 2024.
And so where does it sit right now?
Yeah, see.
We're in a 7.
You're in a 7, but you're trying to convert it now back to to 11.
Well, right now we're just trying to fight to keep our investors into this because they're trying to remove all of them as well, saying they don't have legitimate claims.
Well, what they're trying to do is cram down an agreement that protects the borough of Honesdale because of all the things that the borough did. They don't. The initial statement by Attorney Durkin in the courtroom on our first hearing was that, they didn't want Honesdale to go bankrupt. But on Attorney Mattis's brief, it states right in there that if they convert us to a 7, now remember, this is a decade ago. If they convert us to a 7, it is his opinion that they're going to control the lawsuits to hurt the creditors, to not pay the creditors, and to not protect anything that a bankruptcy court should be protecting.
To enrich themselves.
Yes, to self-enrich.
And that's what happened in this last settlement. Because then they removed both of you from getting a settlement amount because you wouldn't agree to it. So they just said, we'll just take you off it.
Well, no, that was during the trial. Judge Janine Edwards non-suited us, but we have the testimony from that trial, and in the evidence, it shows that she shouldn't have done what she did. But it was done for one particular reason, in my opinion, all right? And that is, Steve and I are not in bankruptcy.
Correct.
And if, with the judgment, Steve and I could independently pursue that judgment without the control of the bankruptcy court and the lawyers in the bankruptcy court.
So you've and this is what I was talking to a friend of mine that I've connected you with, and that what I also took and dropped off on the DOJ's front doorstep. You can show a pattern in this that you can say, well, there's no proof, but there is proof.
Tons of it. Tons of it.
And the proof is that they're trying to self-enrich themselves. They destroyed a business venture for you. On top of destroying a business venture for you, now they're trying to steal the money that a jury of your peers found in favor of you, that they had breached the agreements and therefore they were liable.
Correct. At the initial hearing with Judge Van Eck, the trustee's attorney, Jill Durkin, stated to, Judge Van Eck said to Attorney Durkin, there's a $2.6 million asset, we can, and she said, well, if we do that, they'll go bankrupt. And the judge said, what they do in the future is no concern to this court, which is exactly.
And it shouldn't be.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, and they're not going to go bankrupt because the township is, first of all, it has bonds, right? It's not going to go bankrupt.
Well,
not over $2.5 million.
We can't get the information on that.
How many city employees do they have?
Probably under 100.
Let's say it's 50, right? That means they have taxable revenue that comes into the organization, right?
Correct.
So they may have to tighten their budgets and do all that things, but they're not going to go bankrupt over a $2.7 million.
Well, here's the best part. It was stated Honesdale can't afford it, okay? But there was an audit done that they sponsored through the state that showed for the last 6 years, which we have the documented evidence, and it's been presented to the court, that they've been running surpluses of $500,000 or better.
So then how can they say they're going to go broke?
There you go. That's a good question.
That's Jill Durkin.
Ask Jill Durkin.
Well, there's more to this because there's things that I haven't talked to you about yet prior to you coming on here that I know that you guys don't know, that you're not aware of. And we're going to let those bombshells kind of drop after the show. What's the outcome that you want? If you were talking directly to Honesdale, what is the outcome you want? Because you have a verdict for nearly $2.7 million. You have an interest payment as well, a penalty payment that is still in the Court of Appeals, correct?
Correct, for $1.7 million.
1.7. So you have a total of 4.35, almost 4.4, right?
Right, correct.
The amount of debt in the Chapter 7 bankruptcy is roughly 1.3 million, correct?
No, it's like.
No, it is, because you have investors. You have investors in this
I'll
deal that
let
get paid.
Steve handle this one.
So, I mean, I read the entire document and everything else, and I'm trying to catch everyone up. But it is about 1.3 million if you made the investors whole, correct?
Steve?
No, if the investors were made whole, we're all talking about who is a legitimate claim or not. And Jill Durkin says the only legitimate claims in that bankruptcy are currently $11,000. So, I mean, she could dismiss all the dime banks, and they can dismiss all the creditors because they're not legitimate claims if they wanted to. But they're hanging on the dime bank and just getting rid of the small.
And we've had some major questions about.
Hold on a second. Time. But it still is about 1.3 million if you count all the creditors or the investors.
Well, from the initial claims, yes, that's a correct figure.
Here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give you the path forward. If you're talking to Honesdale, because they're going to watch this, right? They're going to watch this, and they need to know some really bad stuff's about to happen to some of the people that work there. I mean, legally, they've got some massive things to overcome because now we have other people that have come forward, and those people are singing like birds. And these are people that are inside of the apparatus or were previously inside the apparatus. Correct?
Correct.
All right. So what I'm trying to do is give, if you're talking to Honesdale right now, and you're talking to the rest of the state of Pennsylvania, they all know that this corruption happens because a number of people have come forward and said they just did it to me last year, they did it to me 3 years ago, they did it to me 5 years ago. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. So if you were talking to Honesdale right now, and you're like, look, I got a $4.4 million verdict, I have about $1.3 million if we paid it out. You got probably a $250,000 in legal fees for the bankruptcy court if you wanted to pull that money back. You got $1.5 million. So legally, if you went back into the court, told the trustee that hey, this is what we're dealing with, we're going to reaffirm all of the debt, and we're going to pay it out in a structured settlement, and then we get to keep the rest of this money collectively inside the organization. Then you can make disbursements however you want, because the organization would not be under the purview of the bankruptcy court. Right?
Well, we've tried to get out, but we can't.
You filed a motion to get out of the Chapter 7.
Not yet, no.
Yeah, you haven't done that yet.
No. We've been trying to talk and trying to get the other pieces of everything together to find out what has to be done with that. But the biggest problem right now is no bankruptcy attorney knowing this story, or anybody that knows the Middle District court system, is going to touch it. I mean, you, in the first show, Joe, you said when you talk to people up there, they consider this area the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out what the rule is there. It's the rule of evidence 408B. So you can actually negotiate under settlement negotiations under 408B. That'll protect them from anything. They decide, okay, we don't want any part of this because it's about to get really messy. You come back and you say, here's what we're willing to settle for. Let us out of the bankruptcy.
I mean, if you're asking, I'll say the same thing, and Steve can verify himself as well, so they have it if they're watching, and the other people in Honesdale and everybody in Wayne County are watching. It's a very simple thing. We just want to get back to ground zero, get everybody paid that should be paid, get back to ground zero, and I don't want to ever see you ever again.
Yeah, but what about the other people? Because now it's gotten a little bit messier. You have lots of people that you have Phil Latham that they did this to as well, and they create procedural nightmares in order to make it impossible for you to get an outcome. Is that fair?
Well, you also have, I sent you the article about the guy at the prison that just basically another George Floyd type of situation that just went down here. I mean, it's insane what's going on here in Wayne County.
Okay, where is that? Do you guys have that?
I texted it to you, Jeff.
Oh, that's the one you texted me. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's the one I texted.
Well, I don't have it in these documents, so I want to. Okay.
I mean, the bottom line here is there's been. Judge Thomas was a really good judge, and I believe Judge Van Eck is a really good judge. But there's been, as Judge Thomas used to say, there has been skullduggery in this thing from day one.
Even since our initial suit, Joe, that we won for the slander against some a local plumber there.
You won a suit.
Yeah, we won a $100,000 settlement from Nationwide Insurance Company. So we were legally represented, and our attorney sued on our behalf DBA is Smith & Morris Holdings, which has nothing to do with Smith & Morris Holdings. It was a personal lawsuit against them. So when we got involved in his bankruptcy, the only way the trustee could actually make it look legitimate was to put the lawsuit into the company name, Smith & Morris LLC. And I think we sent you the proof of that. I mean, we have the initial suit that was filed.
Let's put this up. Let's put this up. I'm going to let you drive here. Put up image 1, if you would, please. Because I don't want to lose people in all this. This is the brief. The $100,000 nationwide dispute was on November 7th, 2016.
Right.
This is it, correct?
No, you want to.
No, that's the one that was changed. No, this is the one from.
That's Mattis's brief. What you want to bring up is.
This Mattis brief is very important too, because this was our attorney at the time. And he basically foresaw the future. I mean, if you read it, everything that he said in this brief is actually happening. They're trying to enrich themselves by jumping on the back, and they changed the docket, or I mean the heading on our lawsuit.
They changed the plaintiffs on the lawsuit.
Yeah, the plaintiffs. They changed the plaintiffs from Stephen Smith and Michael Morris to Smith and Morris. Trying to, eliminate us again, almost like non-suiting us 10 minutes before the trial's over. It's the same damn thing.
All right, so let's look at this really quick if we can. So this goes through and talks about the fact that they're going to enrich themselves, which in essence is what they're trying to do through the bankruptcy court. So that money goes and is then distributed to whoever the bankruptcy court trustee is, his friends, basically.
She or he deems worthy, pretty much.
I mean, it was $100,000.
According to the bankruptcy rules, but, they weren't followed on the first suit that we had, where they changed the heading on the lawsuit in order to grab that money as well.
Now,
this is speculation, because they won't tell us if that was legal or not, Joe. We've been asking the question for a decade, and, was that legal for Conway to switch the heading on the lawsuit? Is a trustee allowed to do that in the bankruptcy court? Just change the heading on a lawsuit so it benefits you more? Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it's kind of weird.
Go to image 6. Go to image 6. You put that up?
There you go.
Right. Here we go. Now this is the brief. Go ahead. Could you go down on that, please?
Yeah. Right. The one on the right is the proper heading. All right. You got to go down on the order, and he has it spelled out in the order, which I believe is.
I'm not doing a good job of describing this because I already have too much intimate knowledge, so I'm missing it for the people that are listening, right? So
yeah,
let's go backwards real quick, because I'm losing somebody. So people are like, okay, tell me the basis behind this, and I think that's important. Okay, you had a company, you were instituting in essence a joint venture that involved Honesdale, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You bought a building, you refurbished the building. They were supposed to make entitlements, payments. They never did.
Correct.
Well, they were supposed to release bond money. Yeah.
Okay. So they never did that, which caused the shuttering of the business.
Right. This was a telecommunications tier 3 data center. I mean, we were 15 years ahead of time of what's going on now. Like, there's a big fight over in Archibald right now about tier 1s that are going in there. And you see the news with all the data centers going in. I'd be glad to help those people over in Archibald as well, too. So, but that was what we started, and that's what got collapsed. With Verizon, the partners were Verizon, Pennsylvania State Police, DCED, things.
And they wanted it to be successful. You just had a group of people that wanted to run off and do it themselves. That wanted to steal the idea from you, basically.
Correct.
And that's what the basis of the lawsuit was.
The basis of the lawsuit was a breach of contract because they didn't disperse funds and caused the project
in a timely fashion.
in a timely fashion. Right.
which caused the project to fail.
And you went through 16 years of stuff, right? To get to where you are. I'm sorry?
Project started 2010.
Okay, so 16 years total has gone on from this time, right? And you had a verdict issued in 2025.
Correct.
And in that verdict, they were found to be liable for breach of contract.
Correct.
So that should be the end. That should have been where it all started. And they said, okay, $1.7 million in penalties, and you owe the 2.6 million-ish, give or take a few dollars in the breach. Correct?
Right.
All right. So $4.4 million roughly. Well, I've rounded up for you. Hope you get all of it. But right before they came back with these verdicts, they removed you so that you basically have a man on an island with a rudderless ship, right? Basically, they're saying that the organization itself now really doesn't have anything. And so that would allow for them to negotiate against themselves.
Correct.
And reduce that $2.6 million or the $1.7 million on top of it down to zero, and or take the money for themselves and just divvy up the cash.
Well, it's even more interesting than that. Besides removing us, because I say it's my personal opinion is that it was about the going after the judgments, because Steve and I could have gone after the judgments independently. But also, they reduced the settlement that they're talking about right now is $1.2 million, which is $200,000 less than the jury found the building to be valued at, and awarded 1.4 for the building in that 2.6. So they're actually discounting real estate as well in this whole thing. That's all in the transcripts. We have the transcripts. We have all of it.
But the work was already done on the building. That's what the investors' money was put in towards, was making the building usable, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
All right. So you have, and then they sold the building back after the improvements were made to the very people that you actually bought it from.
Correct.
And this brings up a great little ditty. We purchased the building for $165,000.
Right.
Put roughly $1 million into it. It was a brand new building at that point. 3 structural failures that had to be corrected. Everything else, I mean, it was a brand new building when we walked out of there, minus a fire escape and some minor other jobs inside. The bank forecloses on it and sells it at sheriff's sale for $127,500 to the realtor that sold it to us.
And how much money did you put into the building?
Close to $1 million.
So you have a building you bought for $165,000.
Yep.
They sell it for $40,000 less than that to the realtor. And
yes,
you had put $1 million more into the building.
Right.
And
the realtor, I believe, is brothers to the judge that sat on our case. One of the judges.
Stop it. Stop. Go back. What did you say?
This, from what I know, the realtor that bought it from the bank, brother, is a judge that sat on a portion of our case.
How is that even possible?
You tell me, Joe. And if we only knew.
Good old boys.
So I want everybody to understand this, because I think they're people are going, well, how does that affect me? These judges have acted with absolute impunity. The attorneys have acted with absolute impunity. They can do whatever they want, and they've done whatever they want, correct?
Correct.
Right. And just a little add on there, Joe, I'm sorry. The bank itself had that building appraised for $615,000 before it was finished. So even if you want to go with their value, to sell it for $127,500 is ridiculous.
But you bought it for $165,000. So how did you buy it for $165,000? It was worth $615,000.
Well, no, this was after some repairs. It was like a subject to appraisal. It was actually as is when we got it at 6:15 because we still had a little bit of work to finish it. So. But even if they use their own value, what we're trying to say is they had enough money there to pay themselves back if they actually sold it for what it was worth.
You know, in Chicago or in DC or in New York, what would have been the resulting outcome of this would have been cement slippers for someone. I'm just going to tell you, that's.
Yeah.
So you guys have been gracious and walking this path. But prior to having a conversation with me, you never reached out to the DOJ, did you?
Yes, we reached out multiple times.
Who'd you reach out to? The AUSA?
No, the trustees, and we've actually been in they actually got
That's not
back
the
to us
DOJ.
recently.
The
Right,
trustees are not the DOJ. You reached out through the judiciary, but did you reach out to the DOJ?
I thought you said you had, Mike. I don't know.
FBI.
Well, the FBI is not the DOJ. Well, I mean, in essence, it's it's the end around. It's the stick of the DOJ.
But I mean, we did talk to the Washington office of which the U.S. trustee program falls under the DOJ. And we did talk to them, and we've been recently contacted by them as well.
Yeah, I bet.
All this started.
Yeah. So now the DOJ is involved. You have lawyers. You have a city lawyer. Let's talk about him. Do we want to name names? Can we name names here today?
Which one are you talking?
The attorney for Honesdale.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You're driving, by the way. You're driving. You're driving this conversation right now.
Right.
The attorney that represented Honesdale in the
Yes.
bank. Oh, well, I forget his name. Mike, what's his name?
Tony Shear.
No.
Oh, Richard Levin.
You're talking about the guy that represented Honesdale in the lawsuit recently. What's his name?
Levin, I think, is his name.
Yeah, Levine. Yeah, Levine.
All right.
Levine.
So you have attorneys that now are privy to the information related to what they've done in this case. They've committed fraud. They've committed crimes against the community. They've done this more than a few times to enrich themselves. The same name came up in 3 conversations that I've had with other people that have reached out to me as a result of this. Same names, same documentation, same outcome, right? So what makes this more interesting is that you guys went to court just a week ago. And what I want everyone to understand is that the rot that we're talking about right now that is in Honesdale, in Wayne County, is so pervasive in that county that people hardly feel like they can. It is do whatever they. It's like a crime family. Would that be a good assessment?
Yeah.
A legal cartel is how I would categorize it.
And they all get together, and they basically go after people who have money that they can basically steal either ideas or steal assets from. Correct?
Yeah. And they even took Mike's plans to build a data center, and they're trying to run with that as well. So,
I'm the tech guy.
Yeah, but they tried to do this thing. They couldn't get it done, right? I mean, they basically tripped over themselves over the last. It's like giving someone an etch-a-sketch or of how to draw something, and they just didn't follow the left-right.
Well, here's the funny part. They threw another $2 million into it, which would have put us way over the top, and it would have been fully functional by now.
Okay. So you have a signed agreement, though. Let's go through this because I see the litigation funding agreement, right? Let's put that up.
Right.
Put up 7.
Prior to trial, the trustee.
This doesn't tell me anything, guys. Do we have can we scroll on this? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Keep going.
Keep going. It goes into all the details. Prior to trial, the estate did not have any money. So the estate, where the $100,000 went, I don't know. Steve doesn't know. We've asked 1,000 times. You had $100,000, where to go? We got answers that were not answers. It went here, it went there, but we need timelines. Could we been out of bankruptcy with that $100,000 is what we were looking for. But this agreement, they didn't have any money to proceed with the trial. So because we had another agreement prior to this about the nationwide money that they did not honor, we went to this agreement and we put a second agreement together to basically state for funding the trials and all the litigation that got us here, it was a litigation and disbursements agreement.
All right, stop.
So go ahead.
And Ronald Bugaj.
Bouget was our attorney at the time, but now he switched teams. He's over. He was representing the bankruptcy against us. So,
well, how does he do that? How does he do that when in here it said that he has a 1/3 payment for all recoveries?
That's the agreement he made with the trustee. So we had terminated him way back when because we saw. I mean, Ron Bouget, don't get me wrong, is a great litigator, but he knows how to play the game, I believe, in my opinion. And everything looked great at both our trials with him on the floor. And then you always got to wait for the last shoe to drop, because when it drops, you get screwed. And it happened both times with him. So,
okay, keep going. Keep going.
All right. So this agreement was basically for the creditors, Steve and I, we're going to pay for the trial. And for paying for the trial, you're going to reimburse us for the costs. And you're going to give Steve a third, me a third, and the company a third. All right, the three plaintiffs in the case. And there were three plaintiffs in the case. The court, the opening of the court, the opening of the defense, and the opening from Laura and Ron Bouget, they all said three plaintiffs, right until 15, 20 minutes before the end when they threw us off, which, by the way, they never even told the jury we were thrown off.
Okay. All right.
And it was to divide the proceeds, and then once the trial was over, they waited past the appeal period where we had a fully signed agreement. They waited past the appeal period, even though the trustee's attorney said she signed it on the 12th. She didn't contact us till, what was it, the 27th or something of the next month? Or yeah, it was. By the way, I'm not going to honor the agreement.
And we were good with this agreement, Joe.
But everyone signed this agreement.
Correct.
So this agreement was signed. You have a signed agreement. You have an executable agreement with the court. Where everybody agreed to it.
Except you didn't have judge approval yet. Everything has to be approved by the judge in the bankruptcy court. Yeah.
And so,
Other than that, yes, everyone had signed.
So then why didn't it go to the judge for approval?
She waited. I guess she played our attorney. And, because our attorney must have thought it was a done deal and waited and then said, we're not going to submit this now. Since we were non-suited, we don't need an agreement with them anymore. So.
To steal the money.
Yeah, of course.
And then so that you have two things here. One, you have a breach of contract, and you have a material fraud, right?
Correct.
On its face. Because the fraud is because they said, we got you non-suited, so therefore we don't have to honor this to begin with. Even though this settlement agreement
is the transcripts show the reason she non-suited us is not supported by the testimony of the trial.
And that's the same person, Joe. Same judge.
Same
You
judge.
know who she is.
Well, let's say her name.
Judge Janine Edwards.
And Janine Edwards is related to?
No. The real estate agent was Mears. And again, I heard this third party, so I don't know if it's accurate, but from what I'm told, it is. Mears' brother is the judge in Honesdale. That's Edwards right there.
That's Edwards.
Yeah.
And Edwards is the one that is basically non-suited and is backdoor dealing for some reason.
Correct. And the funny thing is,
I'm
Joe,
so tired. Yeah.
Listen to this. On our first trial, last day again in trial, and we go to lunch. We come back. It's just about to be given to the jury. The whole jury questionnaire was changed from what was originally there, almost guaranteeing that we would lose. I wrote my attorney a note, and I was like, I'm not sticking around for this fixed jury, this fixed trial again.
But
so,
you did
and
win.
I left.
But you already won.
And we did win. Yeah, by the graces of God, we won. But holy smokes.
Praise God that we won.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I mean, if you go back to our attorney at that time's closing, I mean, like I said, he did a great job the whole trial. But then at the end of the closing, he knew they'd lost, or the Honesdale had lost. So he tried to disparage us in his closing argument, that saying, well, yeah, they did this wrong or they did that wrong. But, hey, we still, trying to sway it. But by changing the jury questionnaire, I mean, it almost tried to guarantee that we would lose that. And it's sick.
Here's another one, Joe. In the transcripts of this trial that we just went through, what they non-suited us for, she even says, you had a summary judgment 2 months before that where you should have brought this in, and you didn't. You should have let it go right then and there.
It doesn't matter. You non-suited sua sponte, right? Because nobody told her to do it.
Well, no, the defending attorney made the motion last minute. Like, he knew he was beat. And I guess this was the ace in the hole, right?
No.
All right, if we get really beat, we'll play this card and we'll stomp them out that way. You know what I mean?
No, it was a fail-safe. It was a fail-safe that they knew they were losing.
Yeah.
And it was quite
obvious
by that point they had lost big time.
So you have a procedural problem, but you also have, I mean, it's obvious there's collusion. So you have conspiracy in this deal as well. That is why the DOJ is involved in actually this case.
We've asked multiple judges to do an investigation. The creditors have asked them for an investigation.
Nobody seems to want to do it.
Nobody.
Well, no, the DOJ is very interested in this case. You were just contacted.
All right.
So they are interested.
I mean, can you imagine how many people are being treated this way up there?
Can you imagine how many people are going to come right behind you with the same story about this same area in the same town in the same township?
Well, Joe, if you remember, you and I were talking, and I said you should come here.
I told you I'm coming. I am literally coming.
Do a live town hall. I'll screen the people, so but we should do a live town hall. Because I have people that have come up to me that it's 25, 30 years ago, they were making up documents and doing this and doing that, and, whatever they need.
And you have some of those 30-year-old cases that have proof.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so they've been doing this for a long time, and the people have been doing it for a long time. And not only that, but they've been doing this all over the country for a long time. They've figured out this grift of how to steal from people in the community, right? The haves and the have-nots, right?
Correct. I mean, that's part of what's going on in Archibald with the data centers, and we can talk about that in another show. But that's people done it. We were building this. We were 15 years ahead of time because we knew what was coming. You have quantum computing coming, all right? And that's going to be a whole new world when that happens.
Okay. All right. So I want to play this, and and look. There's more coming. There's more that's going to be done. I'm going to be out there with you. We've got a couple more people we're going to be interviewing. I think you know about those people, and then you have others that want to come forward as well. We're going to do like a big round robin. But here is a council meeting, an update given by Richard Henry, Solicitor of the Bureau of Honesdale, saying the deal with Smith and Morris is basically done. That was on April 28th, 2026, correct?
Correct.
All right, let's go ahead and play that.
I've been advised by counsel at Eckert Siemens that we're very, very close to concluding the Smith-Morris matter that requires a trip to the Court of Common Pleas here in Wayne County. That petition's been put together. We're just waiting for the fully and finally signed easement or agreement, a settlement agreement.
So that was at a meeting on April 28th, 2026.
Correct. I'd like to know how he knows. We have a hearing coming up on May 19th. We have a ton of objections going in. We may even have, a demand for a criminal investigation. Who knows?
Yeah. I think that's what we're working on right now. And not to give Honesdale, here's what's going to happen. I'm gonna have another conversation with Levine. We're going to have a conversation with Richard Henry. It sounds like I should reach out to him personally as a journalist and find out on his behalf. I'll send over the letter saying that I can represent you and handle that. So we should send it over to Richard Henry. So he's the solicitor for the Bureau of Honesdale, correct?
Correct.
And he's been there. How long has he been there?
What's that?
How long's he been there?
Oh,
he's lived in the town forever, but
forever.
So he knows where the bodies are buried.
You have to remember, Joe, this is the area for cash for kids. These are the same Middle District, Luzerne County. This is all the same cabal, cartel.
Well, let's put a pin. Let's not put that in Richard Henry and say that he's a part of that. I know there's some nervousness that's happening inside of Honesdale right now, and people are starting to sweat pretty bad about what's coming down the pike, only because there's more people that are coming out of the woodwork, and nobody thought, hey, Joe Oltmann's going to hold a podcast that 1 million people are going to watch, right? No, right. Because of this small town issue, right? They never thought it was going to happen.
Being a small town, the biggest thing that I've been getting feedback at is, they didn't tell the borough council didn't even tell the people what was going on. They didn't tell them the insurance company denied them for the claim. I mean, there's so much in there, so much.
Okay, so we've got to make sure we get to the bottom of that specifically, but we've also got to make sure we give enough, I don't want to put a glass ceiling right above their head they're going to bust through. So there is obviously a cartel issue, and I use cartel, a crime family issue that's happening in that area, and it involves judges and it involves lawyers and bankruptcy trustees and everyone else, and they're just basically getting fat off of stealing money from people. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
And I
from
think
people that can't afford it either, Joe, which is the worst part. That's the ones I feel for most. I mean,
that's what the system's designed to do. It's designed to take from those that work really hard and give it to those that didn't work hard at all.
And you can commit a crime as long as you got money. You can get out of it anytime you want, right? But these people with no money are being crushed.
I agree with you.
And the other piece of this is the checks and balances here in Pennsylvania. I mean, I'll name names. Melissa Norton up at the Judicial Conduct Board. I mean, these people don't see anything, all right? And maybe God,
illegal in Pennsylvania.
Right? Maybe God, if you can't see anything, why do you need sight? I mean, if you don't want to see anything, why do you need sight?
That I think is the $1 million question: is why we have to start searching out, right?
Correct.
All right, gentlemen, we have more to discuss. We'll be back on this next week. I want to get everybody an update. As it sits right now, your next hearing is on May 19th. So they've got about
2 weeks.
About 2 weeks to get things straight. And they've got a couple of other people they're going to have to settle with as well. I'll probably bring that up with Levine and with Richard Henry. So I appreciate you staying in the fight. 16 years is a long time to be fighting. It's a long time.
You
Long
know,
time.
as I've said to Steve many times, and I'll say it here, you know, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is my strength. All right. And if he didn't have Steve in my back, we would have been dead, buried, crucified a long time ago.
Well, I mean,
So I
Steve
know
is a
who's
Cowboys
standing with
fan,
me.
so
The question is, who's standing with Honesdale?
yeah.
You know how you keep the Steelers out of your front yard? Put goalposts up.
You shouldn't be saying that if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. I mean, of all people to say that, you could have been like a Bengals fan and said that, but a Cowboys fan? Oh my gosh, I don't even think that's even legal. I think you might even go to jail for that.
I've gone through a lot in my life being a Cowboy fan.
Yeah,
even worse than this. So
yeah, I mean, that brings new meaning to running a train, right?
yeah.
Hey, Joe, Patrick, all you guys, God bless, love you.
Thank you.
Hey,
and
listen,
I know
hopefully
who's
we get
coming
this
up
straightened,
next,
I hope.
and that's going to be a great story too.
Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of this, and frankly, I think there's an appetite for them to settle things up and do the right thing. It certainly does not behoove them not to do the right thing because the DOJ has an appetite for cases identical to this. Gentlemen, thank you. Thanks for being on with us.
Thank you, Joe. Have a good night.
You too. If you ever wonder why I get involved in cases like this and why do I give people a voice? Why does it matter to me? It's not it's not the things that you can see right in front of you. It's like, oh, President Trump, he got attacked. And it's the very people in our community that we're chartered to be our brother's keeper. And our brother's keeper means that we have to do the right thing, regardless of how hard it is or how difficult it is. I'm going to fly out there on my own dime. I'm going to make sure I've collected a bunch of information. They've collected a bunch of information. And I had a friend that said, Joe, why are you doing this? And I go, because I can. Because it's not right. It's not right for them to destroy people's lives and act with impunity and get away with it. It's not right. And sometimes you just have to stand up for what's right. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we have our next guest. And boy, is there a lot to discuss. Man, where do I start here? Well, let's start with this. Number one, everything is a mess. Everything's a mess. And if you think that if you think that it's isolated, you think that there's some sort of isolation to the amount of fraud, waste, and abuse that's out there, there isn't. So let me tell you about Sherry. She's a highly experienced commercial insurance and risk professional. Career was built on understanding and mitigating institutional threats. Her story involves the total devastation of her Maui development project, her Colorado family home, and her business interests through what she identifies as the coordinated systematic of exploitation. This whole thing was enough to make you sick. So they weaponized the legal system, specifically citing a calculated combination of fraud and bankruptcy abuse, fiduciary failures, and judicial protection. And as you look into it, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This can't be. Now, a normal person would look at it and go, what in the world? This can't be real. Anyway, we'll be back. We will be back with Sherry after an extended break. We got to get her set up. We'll be right back.
Oh, hi. I almost didn't see you there. Welcome to DCF Buns, where you can find the freshest buns in town, if I do say so myself. Oh, our master bakers teach class every week. So whether you're new to baking or trying to improve your culinary skills, we got you covered. And we can help you bake the cake of your dreams. We'll even clean your cake if you want. And if you don't want to bake anything yourself, we have loads of fresh buns available in a variety of shapes and sizes. Check us out at dcfbuns.com to learn more. DCF Buns, we keep the buns hot and the deals hotter. Buns.
In every thread, in every stitch, Honor-Bound USA weaves the fabric of the American spirit. It's not just apparel, it's a testament to God, family, and country. At Honor-Bound USA, We're a family of patriots who put our faith, family, and America first. When you visit our website, you'll find a line of products that embody our commitment to pray, stand, speak, and act. As the official site for the Untamed podcast, all of our products proclaim speaking the truth with courage. We also have the powerful documentary from Professor David Clements, Let My People Go. Identify yourself as one of the few who are willing to stand for what they believe in. Join the Honor-Bound USA family today. Wear it as a badge of honor, commitment to the values that shape us, and a pledge to the bright future we will build together. Because when you're honor-bound, you're not just wearing a brand, you're embodying a lifestyle. All right, so I'm gonna bring Sherry on. I'm gonna have her tell you a little bit about herself. But before I do, I want to talk to you about how pervasive this is. Now, this is a case study on how you can just look at modern institutions can be used to bypass constitutional rights. In other words, they can use procedure and get outside the realm of what is fair. I mean, we should have a system that's based on just institutional fairness. And it's not a fair system. It's not a just system. It's a system that is designed to use procedures in order to steal from people what is never theirs to take. And we've seen this a lot. We saw what they did to Rudy Giuliani. We saw what they did to the Hoff brothers. We've seen this happen across every platform. Put your head up, talk about the ineptitude and the corruption, and they just cut your head off. And they basically make it impossible for you to seek justice through traditional means. So through this whole process, Sherry has spent years compiling massive amounts of evidence. And it includes hundreds of docket entries and multiple appeals. And what is worse about this is that how many people have gone through this that feel the same way, that feel like they've been cheated out of life, that never have a voice. And why is the DOJ does nothing about it? Why is it the FBI does nothing about it? Why is it that the people are treated like slaves? It's systemic. Like everything we're looking at is it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint of how to basically make and take whatever they want, whenever they want. And we've talked about this when it comes to the media, and people, they look in and individually like, this isn't right. But they never make it right. You have people that go out there and say, well, let's do a give, send, go. Let's go raise money to make it right. But we don't ever correct the system. So Sherry, welcome to the show. We're going to talk about this, and then we're going to talk about, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Joe. It's good to be here and finally have a voice to be heard.
So you started out with a dream that you wanted to build a place in Maui.
Yes, I designed, financed, built. It was an ecotourism that I was setting up in Maui. And that's where it started. And the bad actors there, I thought I was entering a bankruptcy to protect me, and it was worse. They all got together, pretty much like what Mike and Steve were talking about.
Different state.
Yeah, here in Colorado, right here in your backyard.
But that was in that was in Pennsylvania. This is in Colorado.
Yep.
And let's talk about this. Before you came on, did I ever ask you your political affiliation?
Never.
Did I ever ask you who you voted for?
Never.
Did I ask you whether you liked horses or zebras?
No.
Did I ask you any questions?
Nothing.
I just said, this isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And as we start looking underneath the covers, I'm going to put this out that you don't know much about the Christopher Gregory case, but the Christopher Gregory case is it basically is an example of how much bribery and corruption, graft that just permeates through. Colorado was just filled with it.
It's disgusting.
The school to prison pipeline, if you name it, all the way down. We talk about the judiciary, we talk about the bankruptcy court. It's not just a state issue, it's a state and federal issue, and these guys get involved in these things so that they can basically steal assets.
Yeah, it's it's a cesspool that everybody's swimming in.
Okay, so let's walk past. I'm going to walk back on this a little bit. Okay, you hired a bankruptcy attorney, Elizabeth
German.
Okay, they're gonna adjust your thing here real quick.
Okay.
Elizabeth German.
Yeah.
And that's with Robinson and Henry.
Yep, she's with Robinson and Henry, and you know, I trusted her. I find out now this was her first Chapter 11 bankruptcy that she's ever done.
Okay.
I have millions of dollars in assets, 3 properties, 2 in Colorado, 1 in Hawaii, and she handed me a book and said, "Till debt do we part." I wrote this for Robinson and Henry. I got your back, I'll help you. And I trusted her completely. And she left me in 2022.
Okay, so this case goes back to 2020.
Actually, it goes to 2019.
2019, okay. But the case was assigned in, looks like January of 2020?
That was the Chapter 7. She moved me from the 11 to the 7.
Why?
Well, she said the world's shutting down. COVID hit. My ex-partners locked me out of my property in Maui. They forged a document, said I gave it away. Just said, here you go. You can have it all. No consideration of money, nothing exchanged. And
did you sign that document?
No, I did not.
Okay, so so, but she was having conversations with them too.
Oh yeah, she. Well, we found out now it's 2026, but back then, I thought so naive that the system was here to protect me. I had all the documents. I'm a risk manager. I had insurance policies in place. I had manuscripted endorsements to cover construction defect. It was so easy. I mean, I could have made it so easy, but I got this trustee assigned after Elizabeth Germain took me. Of course, we watched the docket. She said, and she's right, all of the trustees are horrible in Colorado. There's not many. You got to try to get the
best of the worst.
The best of the worst, yeah, exactly. And so after several months.
It's funny how those trustees, by the way, many of them come out more wealthy than when they went in.
Well, I have $6.2 million on my AB schedule. No one has shown me any accounting. I've been to the DOJ. It took me 2 years to get a $53 million bond because I don't understand how trustees aren't even required to carry E&O insurance.
They should be.
Well, I mean, a business has to. I have to as a professional, but she doesn't even have to cover herself. So it took me 2 years fighting with the DOJ. I finally got her bond. And it's been 2 years fighting since then. It's
okay, so let's go back because I want to be very clear. We just talked about a case that, frankly, is going to go through the DOJ. We have some people that are in real trouble in Honesdale, in Pennsylvania. This case is in Colorado. Colorado is probably one of the most corrupt judiciaries. The judges are worse than I think they probably are some of the worst in the country. Matter of fact, I know they are because they were appointed by a guy named Jared Polis.
Oh, yeah, he didn't help me at all. I've sent him years of letters. Please help me. They're taking my home.
Well, let's go back to this. This is 2014. You bought 4 acres in Maui.
In the Kanapali Coffee Farm.
Okay, so let's put this up there if we would. This is the property itself. Okay, yeah. So it's listed on Zillow for $2.8 million. That's it right there.
Yep, that's it.
All right, and that's the renovation that was done?
Well, I built it from scratch, actually. It was 4 acres I bought. I subdivided the property. I do have architectural and engineering experience outside of, being a risk manager. So I did design that. I have a company called Celestial Properties.
Okay.
I designed it. I built it. I financed it. Every plant you see, I put in that ground with a pickaxe myself.
Okay, so that was in 2014.
Well, 16 actually is when I started it. Yeah.
Okay, but you bought the property in 14.
Right.
You started building in 16.
Yep.
In 16, you were building a mushroom farm for ecotourism.
Yeah.
Called Maui Mushrooms and Microgreen.
That's what it was going to be. Yep.
Okay. You built a barn and a cottage.
Yep.
So you have the builders and your boyfriend.
Well,
builders
that's a funny story. I realized that it is true. I was actually catfished. I didn't know that was a real thing, but it is. And there was a man, his name is Roger Swanee. He lives in Canada, and he just targeted me and made me believe that we had a relationship. And I was in the middle of building my project. I'm independent, successful. I thought, what a great relationship. I got a guy in Canada, I'm here, we can get together and date, perfect. Next thing I know.
Did you ever meet him?
Oh yeah. We met.
Was he really the person that he said he was?
No, he's fake. Everything is fake. He had no property that he said.
Did he ever look like he looked like online, or okay? I thought maybe. I thought maybe.
It wasn't it wasn't an online thing.
Okay, what? Okay.
No. I was in New Zealand and I met him. I was there on a trip and I met him. He was with the Canadian rugby team supposedly. I don't know. That's
Turns out not true.
No, nothing he said was true. We dated, and then the next thing I know, he's suing me in Colorado for being married and living here for 9 years with me. I've got the Homeland Security involved. I've got so many people involved. Everyone's like, oh, sorry, it's civil matter. Civil matter.
But it's not civil matter. It's theft and it's fraud.
Thank you.
And the court should have stepped in and gotten involved based on those parameters.
Well, we did at some point. I did win $148,000 judgment after taking him to court for 2 years. The trustee never collected it. In fact, she blocked me from collecting it. But yeah, this is a complicated story, Joe.
Okay, so you went from that to you saw business opportunities with Tiger Technologies.
Yeah, so.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so this man from Canada who.
What's his name again?
Roger Swanee. I think that's what the name that we have on documents. I don't even know if that's a real name. I had clients here in Colorado, Tiger Technology, and I had insured them for 10 plus years. They do $100 million a year in receipts, big company, you know, I trusted them. And they knew I was friends with the CFO. Her name's Kathy Knutson. She knew what was going on.
Okay.
She said, oh, we'll save you. We'll save you. And her and Mike Shadinis, who is the head of Tiger Technology here, flew out to Maui in 2018, looked at my property and said, yes, we're going to step in and save you. In fact, now, this wasn't a handshake deal. I spent $20,000 on an operating agreement, a mutual of understanding, an LOI. I mean, I'm not a dummy handshake here.
Right. Who was your lawyer for that?
Michael Kerrigan from Holland and Hart.
I'm not going to say another word about Holland and Hart. We'll have to talk offline on that. Okay, so keep going.
Yeah, they wouldn't help me afterwards, but anyways, they did draw the contract up. So I just am so naive. I trusted them. Why would they steal from me? They have all the money in the world. They could build 20 of these properties. Why would they steal from me?
So this is the MOU. This is the MOU that you have with them.
Yep.
Okay. And this is what did you get and what were you given?
Okay, so I had already pretty much developed this property. When I bought it, the 4 acres, I subdivided it into 2 lots.
Okay.
And the lower lot was my cottage, a 900 square foot cottage, and I did a barn, 44 by 44 feet. Okay. And I built a basement. I was the only basement in Maui until Oprah copied me.
Well, I know that that's a fact.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I flew Colorado concrete out here from Colorado to pour the basement.
Stop for a minute. Stop. Go down a little bit. I mean, up. Sorry, go up a little bit. All right, but let's just go to the advancements. So they had $500,000.
Yep. So they said, so I'm drowning here, right? I'm either have to fire sell this or do it and finish it. And they said, nope. We want to step in. We're going to build a main house on the top lot. We're going to infuse $2.5 million into the project. You will design the main house and we'll build it. And it was, we were all going to ride off in the sunset together, happiness.
So you have up to $2.5 million. That should have been your first indication.
Yep.
$500,000 for reimbursements of the cost to acquire the property. So you're getting your money back out of this deal.
Well, it wasn't getting it back. The $500,000 was for me to deed the property into our new company. Right.
Yeah, this is a land lease, correct? 99 years?
No, I owned it. I bought it. There was no land lease in Maui. I bought it. This was back in when the market was crashing and construction was having all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
I bought this lot for $660,000, 4.5 acres in the middle of the Kaanapali coffee farm. That was a hell of a buy.
Yeah, I know that the rules there, though, are that you have to sign it under some sort of deeded
This
land.
wasn't. We were able to buy, you own it. You do actually own it in this property, in this
all right.
county.
That's amazing.
I know. And I had a solar off panel put on, and I had the last NEM agreement, the net energy metering agreement. So it's self-generating farm, self-sustaining generating farm.
Okay, so I want to, if I can, executive and officers. E&O is executive and officers.
Yeah.
Directors and officers is also another way to put it. Usually you have to have some sort of insurance for liability
Errors and
reasons.
omission.
Errors and
Yeah.
Well, errors and omissions, but if you're actually
Then you have D&O for directors and officers.
Your company would be D&O.
Yeah, and I have all these policies.
Okay.
I have everything in place. I am, in fact, the builders, and I was taken by 2 builders in Hawaii, Brian Volk, who can't spell construction, and he stole millions. And that appeal is still holding in the Hawaii courts. It's 2016, but it was stayed because the bankruptcy trustee held my company until October of 2024. She just released 2025. Sorry, October of 2025. She just released my company. And there's a story on that, but.
Well, I want to make sure I walk through this carefully so people understand this. So you've been friends with Kathy. Kathy is the CFO of Tiger Technologies. She's still there?
Yeah, she's
Tiger
still there.
Technologies? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had a 10-year relationship with her on the business side.
Yep.
You had an MOU. You have text messages with Kathy.
Yep. Emails.
Right?
Yep.
Do we have some of those text messages?
Yep. There she is.
Yeah.
That's Kathy.
That's Kathy. So Kathy she lives here.
Yep.
She told me the deal and there's Michael is the owner of Tiger Technologies.
Yeah, he's the money guy, she would
Shadunas.
say. Shadunas, yeah.
Shadunas, okay. And Kathy told you to deal with him because he's the head guy. He's the guy that's the CEO.
She was pretending to protect me. We got to protect you so they don't try to take your lower lot. That's what she would say. I've got emails on it. But turns out she was just setting me up for them, just feeding me to them. And this money comes from China. That's where Gambei law is bottoms up.
Okay.
That's where it's all funneled from China. In fact, Joe, my whole house was sold on July 2nd. Of course, there's no accounting for it. Nobody knows where it is yet. Zillow doesn't show it as sold on July 2nd. But
all right, so hold on a second. I want to go back through this because you're supposed to be a 50-50 partner.
Mm-hmm. Well, they changed it to 49, but yes, we started out 50-50.
But you're 49 then.
Well, I was after they changed it, and we have some emails. I don't know if we're going to show them.
Yeah, we're going to show those right now. Guys, listen to me. This is how bad. Like you have. Here's the one thing I'll say about this. Sherry, you have all of the receipts.
I have.
Like you have all the receipts that if any court were to look at it, they'd go.
It's in the record, Joe.
Yeah.
I have 778 dockets on case number 20-18118. And then there's 2 adversary cases. And then there's 3 district court cases pending.
Okay, so it's still in bankruptcy, by the way. Still okay. All right, let's go back to this email exchange saying that this is the groundwork to make you a minority holder because he needed this in order to get the financing done.
Yes.
So this says, Sherry, happy Monday. Kathy is doing the morning shift with her brother as he is working towards recovery. I believe we'll be available this afternoon to discuss below in more detail. Note, we have a meeting with our lawyers to discuss the construction contract today too. Please see my replies below.
So we were writing back and forth to each other.
All right, so you went and talked and you said, happy to talk about next steps, couple clarifications, right? And you walked through all the stuff that's necessary. $500,000 has to be a loan or you will have to pay taxes on this.
That's really
or it will be income. It cannot be a capital contribution to Nalani as it was paid out. Kathy can provide more insight details on this. Okay, so to get to a 51-49 split, we both have to put in roughly the same amount of money to the partnership. In this case, we picked $800,000. The $800,000 was used to cover the following: property value of 2.5. You have 1.7 more worth of liabilities alone, which equal $800,000 of values. The idea would be to provide the value of the property minus liability, and we provide $800,000 in cash. All right, that ever happen?
Nope.
Okay.
No, they stole my property with the help of the courts.
Okay.
And then the trustee tried to sell my company back to them. That's why they released my company in 2025, because I had the documents that we were going to court on, and they didn't want it on the record.
All right, so we're putting on the record that basically that the trustee's a piece of shit. We're going to put on the record that...
Well, actually, it's her attorney that's worse. I don't think the trustee's smart enough to be a piece of shit.
No, they are. They're absolutely smart enough.
Well, it's David M. Miller from Spencer Fane. He's the evil one. Now, Joe, I offered in 2022 to write a check to everybody.
Say this for me. Say, in my opinion, he's the evil one.
In my opinion and experience that I've had to deal with personally.
Look, I've read a bunch of these documents, and I think you just don't want to put yourself as a target to these pieces of crap that'll lawfare you to death.
They've already stepped. I'm a dead body. They've stepped over for the last 6 years.
No, we're gonna resolve that, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope.
So this is to get to the 2.5 million funds. GBL gets the preferred rate of return of 5% until paid off from the proceeds from rental. I need to look at the other terms you listed below, but those were the two that stood out as being inconsistent and with operating agreement. Okay, take that down for a second. Or you can go through a little bit of that more later.
Yeah.
So then that leads to a document where you sign over, and that leads to a forged DocuSign where they say you signed over everything.
Yeah, they can't produce it. They say, I signed by DocuSign. And I say, where's the document? You know,
because the DocuSign has a document attached to it, right? That shows the IP
where
address,
you were, everything. You can't fake it.
You cannot fake it. Well, you can. You could try, but it's almost impossible. So let's go ahead and show this as an image of a agreement. This is the membership redemption agreement.
Right.
Okay.
And notice it's dated March 1st, 2019 on the top.
Yes.
Okay. So we can get to that later. You can see how much after that date. Kathy testified at a hearing in September of 2019 saying I was 49% ownership. So was she lying then? She lying now? Like, none of it makes sense. But you can see my signature at the bottom here.
All right. So this is the shows that you are 49%, and then this says that you're
giving it away. I'm giving it to them, saying, here you go.
All right, let's go to the bottom. So this gives up your right to them.
And they say is my signature. There's Michael's signature, but they say that's mine. And their attorney, Dan Wolf, who's not their attorney anymore, but at that time, and I have the email that says, Sherry, you know you signed that document. Your signature doesn't look like that because you signed with DocuSign. And I said, send me the DocuSign. I've asked for it. I've asked through my attorney. I've asked the trustee. I've asked the DOJ. I have provided this to the DOJ in 2021, and we're in 2026, and not one person can show me that document. Not one.
Have you taken this to the AUSA of Colorado?
No, and when you said that to Mike and Steve, that's probably I don't know where else I haven't taken it.
You haven't taken it to the AUSA. You haven't taken it to the AUSA.
Okay, well, that's where I'm going next. AUSA, I'm on my way.
Yeah, so Kevin Traskos was the AUSA here.
Okay.
He was married to Melissa Hart, who is got massive problems. He stepped down. She stepped down. She was on the Colorado Supreme Court, part of the people that voted against President Trump in 2024 to have him on the ballot. Okay, so so you have this forged document said you signed it. They said they have it on DocuSign. So by the way, the only way you would have that document on DocuSign if they said that
it's mailed to me.
Well, it would have an accompanied paper that goes with it.
Yeah.
So did they write down and or get on a stand and say that it was a DocuSign?
I have nothing but from their attorney saying it in writing because nobody will make them answer for it. I've put that in the record.
So they procedured you to death and okay, got it.
Yeah,
got it.
Procedured to death.
So then you have an email exchange between Kathy and yourself. Now let's start at the bottom. Can we start at the bottom on this one? Because we're going to go up with it, if you guys know what I mean here. Is it the bottom? No. You guys are killing me.
Okay, so this was right So,
This is
and I want
2019.
to say this. Kathy and her family used my home up in Grand Lake days before they locked me out of my house in Maui. So they had to know this was coming, but I didn't know. I'm so dumb. They had a wedding up there. I've got pictures from the wedding. So I show up in Maui and they lock me out of my house with that document. They had police. They had me removed from the property. Kathy and Mike's wife were sitting in my pool when I got there. And then they ran in the house and locked the doors. And they were like calling the cops through the doors on me. I mean, literally, they locked me out of the house with that document. And that document has stood as it's a real document today.
Is that your signature?
No, that is not my signature. That is not my signature. I never signed that document. Why would I give my house away?
You wouldn't.
And is it even legal unless they give me money as an exchange?
There has to be consideration. There always has
Yeah.
to be consideration. So please tell me why there's no consideration why this was allowed to stand.
I want you to help me figure that out, Joe, because I can't get an answer from the courts, from attorneys, from DOJ, from our congressmen. I have written these supposed...
Have you talked to any of the congressmen?
They won't return my call. I've begged for meetings. I get generic letters. Actually, I did have...
What district are you in?
I was in Grand Lake before they evicted me and stole that house and sold it and bankrupted it because the trustee didn't list. She forgot to calculate capital gains tax. She didn't have the IRS listed. And I built that house from scratch in 1999, and they sold it on a fire sale for $1.35 million, and there's over $400,000 in capital gains tax that she just forgot to calculate.
Okay.
I can't make this up, Joe.
All right, let's.
I mean, I'm all over the place, I know, but I can't make this up. When you were sitting here with, when I first saw your episode talking to Mike and Steve, and you said, guys, you got money, just pay it off. I offered the bankruptcy court, and it's on the record, I will bring $700,000 of cash to show you I have it to pay everyone off, which I only have about $64,000 in debt, really. I was gonna pay my house in full, I was gonna pay everything in full just so they'd go away, and they told me no.
How did they tell you no?
They said, no, I have it in the record. I said, is this a voluntary bankruptcy or is it involuntary? When did it become involuntary? Somebody show me. I've asked the court. They just, again, I'm a dead body. They step over. They don't have to respond to me. They don't have to answer me. Until I got competent counsel out of Texas, because there is none in Colorado. Well, that's not true. I do have a good attorney now in Colorado, but.
Who's your attorney here now?
Burke Baumgartner.
Okay.
Yeah, and he is very busy with all the corruption in Colorado. But until I got a good bankruptcy attorney in another state that said, my God, Sherry, she calls it the Wild Wild West out here, but she started helping me, telling what I needed to do and refile and refile and refile and make that trustee take action and get it on the record. That's when I started getting action.
Okay. You're still in this lawsuit right now. You're still in the bankruptcy. It still has not been resolved.
All the money's gone. Everything's missing. In fact, I've got the IRS. She hasn't filed taxes on the estate for 4 years.
Okay. So you can start to see, where do you live now? What district are you in?
I'm in Castle Rock.
You're in Castle Rock. So you're in Lauren Boebert's district.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do something, Lauren, right now. I'm going to text Lauren Boebert right now.
I'd love someone to talk to me. You're the first one, Joe, that's given me a platform on this.
Lauren Boebert. Case is airtight. You have stolen her.
$6.3 million is missing from the AB schedule. They shut my company down 3 times. And
missing.
yeah. I just want accounting. Where is it? Why can't someone tell me where this is at?
Rotted to the core. Hold on. Sorry, I'm doing this one more time.
No, I love it.
And is in your district. You could really help her.
Or maybe I can help her, help others. They've ruined, what they've taken from me can never be replaced. And what they've done can never be restored. But what I can do is, because now I'm really good and I've learned this system, is I can help others. And that's what my goal is here. I'm going to stop it so this doesn't ever happen to anybody else, ever again.
Busy. This is important. There we go.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. So I just actually sent Lauren Boebert a text while I was on here. Lauren, don't disappoint me, please. This is, yeah. So Lauren's typically pretty good at it. I mean,
Okay.
she's, yeah. I mean, look, I'm not. I will not say that she does everything I want her to do, but she does a lot of good.
Good.
Right. Okay. So here's an email exchange between you and Dan Wolf. Tell me, that's the attorney for Michael and Kathy, right?
Yep, that's the one that said I signed it DocuSign.
Okay, so here, let's go to the part where it says you signed on DocuSign. Where is that?
You know full well that you signed the redemption agreement and assignment.
Change of ownership. Okay, let me read it.
Right there it is.
You know full well that you signed the redemption agreement and assignment attached to your email of May 14th, where you transmitted those signed documents to Mike, and the email thread between you and Kathy regarding the change in ownership of Okakope and your execution of the documents. As you know, as reflected in those attached, you signed the documents electronically via DocuSign, which is why your signature appears the way it does. Corporate documents are not required to be notarized and normally are not notarized.
It's the only document between us that wasn't.
Listen, it's
Seriously.
not a complete document. A complete document for DocuSign has to include, it is literally in the Electronic Signature Act that Bill Clinton put into place. This is the easiest thing ever.
Well, why am I still here 6 years later, Joe?
And it's fortunate that you're resulting to being untruthful. That's typical of them. Be advised of knowing that making false statements, including the law enforcement, could potentially result in both civil and criminal liabilities. That's illegal. I urge you to consult with an attorney, consult with a lawyer before taking further actions for making false statements that could have serious consequences for you. Also, in view of your actions, you should be hope for cooperation from Okakope and connecting your bankruptcy filing. The liens filed on your Grand Lake property is a matter of public record, and the information is readily available through the county clerk and any local title company.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
let's
he's
talk about
threatening.
that.
Now he's threatening you.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I didn't know they filed $1.6 million of fake liens and deeds on my Grand Lake house. Now, they took them all off, so nothing happened. You can file fake claims in the bankruptcy court. If you're dirty and you're corrupt, it's okay.
And this is Dan Wolf. Where's Dan Wolf now?
I don't know, because that's not their attorney anymore. But, so I don't know.
Hey, Patrick, do me a favor. Reach out to Dan Wolf and get his thoughts on this email and ask him if he could provide us with the document related to her signature on this via the DocuSign, that he made an accusation. Make sure you record that conversation, please.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to reach out to him right now.
Wonderful.
Have a nice little conversation with Mr. Wolf.
Wonderful.
I see little value engaging further back and forth with you, given their refusal to recognize the undeniable fact that you no longer have any interest in the property. They continue threats to unlawfully take matters in your own hands and to forcibly break and enter the property. Okay. This is thuggery.
Oh, so there's not even words for what they've done to me. There's not even words for it, Joe. I mean, who?
Now
They're
let's talk
soulless.
about
They're soulless.
let's talk about the lawsuit you have. I'm in the middle of that right now with a guy named Eric Coomer.
Oh, I've learned about him through you.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good guy. I mean,
Yeah.
just ask him.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a lawsuit that was filed. Let's put this up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is in the Second Circuit, State of Hawaii. Who's your attorney on this?
Valentine was her name.
Valentina?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you filed this lawsuit against them.
When I got there and they locked me out of the house, I was living in my car, going to court. I didn't have a house. You can't just go to Maui and get a house.
No, you can't.
So I was living in my car, and then when I showed up to court, they had an attorney show up on the other side to announce to the judge that they had taken the property from me. Not even relevant to the case, but it's all on the record. So
the alleged forgery, you put in the forgery. The defendant used forged documents, specifically a membership redemption agreement. Now, what was their cause for the redemption agreement?
I don't know. It came out of the blue. Like I said, 10 days before, she was using my house in Grand Lake for a wedding.
Okay, an assignment of liability. Okay, so we're also going to reach out to, I think we're going to reach out to the Tiger.
Yeah, I think you should. I'd love
for
for him to come. Let's have a talk. They've never said a word to me since they sent me an email, and I know Patrick has it somewhere, but from Kathy saying, yeah, I think you should just talk to our attorneys. I was like,
well, I think that it's a matter of record. We should probably have the conversation here. Okay, so this is the you had a temporary restraining order. You wanted to immediately restore your possession of the property, restore access to the property security system, terminate a rental agreement scheduled to begin the 1st of November 2019. So this went on for quite some time. And what was the outcome of this?
Nothing. Ignored. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you, Joe, what the outcome is, because the trustee just didn't do anything in Hawaii. She didn't do any, I have 2 builders, I have claims, I have, she just did nothing.
Okay, let's go to this one. Who's David Miller?
Oh, David Miller is the attorney that was hired
Put up 9.
By Jeannie Yago, who's the trustee.
Okay.
And they hired Mr. Miller because he was supposed to get the 1.6 million of fake liens and deeds taken off of my home in Grand Lake.
Okay.
And they're the ones that made the deal and said, hey, if you'll let this settlement go through, we'll, and it's on docket 93-1, page 7, they put a paragraph where they will release my company so I can now go after them for breach of contract and just get it out of the bankruptcy court, right? And I said, okay, all right, we can do that. And this was all negotiated.
What year was this?
This was 2022. This was all negotiated by Liz, my attorney, with the trustee, and they put that language. Liz Germain.
Germain.
She's the one here with Robinson and Henry.
Okay, got it.
And I do have a lawsuit going against her now as well. So.
And that lawsuit is for.
Malpractice, breach of fiduciary duty.
Did you go after her bond on her insurance as well?
Well,
did you notify her insurer on that?
I did, but they ignored me.
Okay, who is your attorney on that one?
Burke Baumgartner is my attorney on that one.
He's out of Texas.
No, he's here in Colorado.
Okay, perfect. Where does he reside?
He's I emailed Patrick the district he's in. I can't remember.
Okay. Hey, he told you what? He told you this is absolute horse crap?
Well, it took him, it took a long time for them to look at everything. Yeah, and then
I know, because it was a lot for me to
I'm
peruse,
sure,
right?
I'm sure. And we haven't even probably scratched it. But yeah, after he saw what was going on, he just said, yeah, okay, I'll take this on. I had a couple attorneys before that in Colorado that really screwed things up. And he had to kind of, we really don't have good attorneys in Colorado. That's just a fact. They pretend, but they really don't know what they're doing. And compound that with the judges that either don't know, don't care, or all work together. I don't know what the answer is, Joe. I'm just I'm like you, trying to get to the bottom of this.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Awesome, thanks.
We'll get to the bottom of that, and we'll kind of put some stuff together. Now, since then, you still have, you have 2 lawsuits pending right now.
I have.
The bankruptcy's still going on.
The bankruptcy's still going on. That's one.
But they sold your property through the bankruptcy.
2.
Fire sold it.
They fire sold. Well, I offered in 2022 when they made this deal right? Between my ex-partners were taking the money off, the fake liens and deeds that they put on, claims 13 through 16. And I thought this was all over. You know, all I had to do was just pay people off, right? And
that was a motion to leave the bankruptcy.
well, at this point, not yet. That wasn't until 2023. So Judge Brown was my first judge, and I'm going to say I think she was a good judge. I think she was fair to me.
Okay.
I think she saw what the trustee did.
What caused the bankruptcy, the collapse? Was it the relationship with Kathy and Michael that caused the collapse, or was there a business underpinning business viability that caused this?
I think it really was based on what Swanee did to me that pushed me in, and the two contractors that were corrupt before that.
Those were the builders.
The two builders, Wide Open Construction. You know, and actually he did a lot of good things when he came on because he fixed a lot of things from Volk, who can't spell, Brian Volk, cannot spell construction.
Well, there's not a lot we can do about stuff going on in Hawaii, right? I mean,
but I'm
builders
insured
are
for
bad.
that.
Builders
I'm
are bad.
insured for that.
Did you go to your insurance company? Did he have insurance?
Let me tell you about that, Joe. So I'm a commercial insurance agent. I manuscripted an endorsement because when you go to court on the insuring agreement always controls, right? That's what it is. So I changed the insuring agreement with this manuscripted endorsement to cover construction defect.
Okay.
Not only did I do that, but I defined it. Like there's letters that attorneys have looked at it and said, this is covered.
We got to make sure we stay in line with what we're talking about.
I know.
Because you want to go like this, and then you're going to lose people, right?
I know, you're right, thank you. But so anyways, long and short of it is that I have $10 million worth of insurance that the trustee could have collected on because they are viable claims.
Okay.
But she was either too dumb, too corrupt, didn't care, or was being steered by this, her attorney, David Miller, who definitely is corrupt. I offered them $80,000 for sending a letter to end this, right? This was in March. I hired a TPA to talk to them. I said, we're going to pay everybody off. I'm going to give you $80,000 for your fees. Thank you for sending the letter. And he demanded $380,000. $380,000. So my TPA said, well, Mr. Miller, can you explain why? Can you show me justification so I can? Nothing. So here I am in the bankruptcy because he's held me here, and
why is nobody doing this? Why is no lawyer hammering?
Because there are no lawyers that can do it. I had to go out of Colorado to get one. The lawyers here, that what I'm told, I'm either conflicted out, I know more than they know, they don't have the experience, or some of them have said, God, Sherry, you're right, but we got to work in this. They swim in that cesspool, so they can't, shit where they eat, whatever.
This just doesn't mean it just gets worse and worse.
I know, I'm telling you, I was coming out of my seat when you were saying to Mike, all you gotta do is just tell him you're gonna pay. So in 2023, I walked in and I said, you know what, I'm done playing with you guys, because I tried to convert. That's what Elizabeth told me to do. So I tried to do that. The trustees fought me. It was a fight. I'm pro se. Nobody's stepping in to help me. I'm trying to figure this out on my own. Finally in 23, October 17th, 2023, I'll get you the transcript. I walked in and I said, Your Honor, now I have a new judge, Judge McNamara. He has no clue of the past 2.5, 3 years, doesn't care. To him, I'm some piece of shit Chapter 7 debtor that he didn't even look at the law of the case and see what had transpired before. And I said to him, I'm done. I'm not playing in here anymore. I'm gonna write a check to everybody. And I'm withdrawing from this bankruptcy. I don't need your protection. And that was at docket 328. I'm at docket 787, and they still won't let me go. I've told them they're holding me against my will. I've told them this is a voluntary bankruptcy. They can't do it. I said everything to him that you said to Mike on the show,
right,
and Steve, and I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. The DOJ doesn't help. I've set up drop folders with the DOJ and dropped stuff and said, get your trustee off this.
The problem is that there's too many people that are having these same problems that they have to just basically throw them all out.
Well, I think that people...
I mean, I don't know how you I don't know how you have a functioning society.
We don't.
When you're stealing from average everyday people every day.
They just didn't expect me to fight back like this because most people couldn't and wouldn't know how to.
Here's one of the comments we have. Nobody can afford an attorney, Joe. Yeah. Lawyers know exactly what they're doing, and the longer they keep case going, the more money that we'll make. The average person can't afford an attorney.
That's right. And even if you can afford them, you'll pay for it and you won't get shit. They don't know what they're doing. Why does a trustee not have to take an exam to know that she knows how to, or he knows how to be a trustee?
So let's look at this email exchange with Tim Swanson. This is recently?
Yeah. Tim Swanson is their new attorney, my ex-partner's new attorney.
Okay, so let's read some of it. Is this the bottom of it or the top of it, guys? Okay. So this says, I write in response to your email sent at 12:13 a.m. Sunday morning. My firm is in the process of being retained by Mr. Shadunas and Miss Knudsen. We currently only represent 1450 Oka Copa and Gan Bai La.
Yeah, that's Chinese for bottoms up.
I will let you know if I am authorized to accept service once we've been formally retained by Mr. Shadunas and Miss Knudsen. To be clear, the subpoena is attached to your email on docket number 744 and 745 are deficient. I would like to, and I would not accept service for the deficient subpoenas. Please send me the complete subpoena packet you did issue, however, so I can review it thoroughly. We reserve all rights, including moving the court to quash deficient subpoenas if not corrected. And you can see that's Tim Swanson, and he's attorney at law at Frost Brown.
Yep.
Todd. Okay.
Yeah. So what this is about.
This is recent.
This is recent because now.
When was this?
This was in probably September 2025.
Okay.
So finally, because of the help of my bankruptcy attorney in Texas,
all right,
we're moving the court. And we have a hearing. And we're having a hearing because, and actually I will say it was McNamara, the judge, that got it out of Miller in court, that he's now selling my company. The company that they were supposed to release to me in 2022, when I allowed that a settlement agreement to go through. Now they're selling my company back to my ex-partners.
Well, they can't do that.
Oh, well, it's on record, Joe. It's on the record. He said it in open court.
But you did file a motion to actually remove yourself from bankruptcy court.
I did, but they held me.
Rule on it.
No, they said no. You can't go. You're stuck in bankruptcy. You can't go. I can show you these documents. So now here we are, and we have a hearing coming up for them to release my company because she has no right to hold Celestial Properties, right? And I'm the single member entity, so she's the only one that can control stepping in my shoes. So we're having this hearing finally, 3 years later. We're having this hearing for them to let go. And David Miller does a document dump out past the date that he was supposed to. And that's where I found the email where he's talking back and forth with their attorney, the one that we just had on the screen with the subpoena. And they're saying, look, if you don't buy this company, then we're just going to let you deal with Ms. McGann yourself. Like they're trying to cover. First of all, my company has no value except the claims that it holds. So you're trying to sell the company to the person that it has the claims against, and you're trying to hide your, malpractice of the trustee. So anyways, they stopped it and they released my company. Then
they finally gave it back to you.
They gave it back to me on October 14th, 2025.
Okay, so you have your company back.
Have my company back.
So that's doing well now.
Well, no, it's broke. There's nothing there. And the trustee held it just long enough, just 3 months past the statute of limitations. So the claim's barred because they sold the property. Supposedly, they sold the property July 2nd, 2022. There's no record of it. It doesn't show on Zillow.
You haven't gotten any paperwork.
I haven't had one piece of paper to show me where anything's gone,
Have you
Joe.
filed a motion to get that information?
I filed a million motions.
Your attorney now is doing lots more, right?
Well, he's getting involved in this now, but you have to understand it's been months for him to just.
So how much money did you lose through all this?
Oh, millions. I have 20 million lost through my company. I have 6 million missing from my AB schedule. I mean, it's not even about the money. I can make money. I'm really good at making money, okay? This is about justice. This is about what you're doing to the American people.
Yeah, I'm good at making money, so it's kind of...
It is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I don't want them to reimburse what they've taken from me, but they can't make me whole, ever, because money won't make it whole.
Yeah.
And how many people are out there that don't have a voice, that they just snub out and they don't know how to file 787 dockets?
Most people.
Right,
most. Yeah.
Most, right. Well, I'm the one that they picked the wrong one because now they've changed my trajectory of life.
But this should have the FBI written all over it. And have you met with the FBI?
I have met with them. I've talked to them. I've talked to them every quarter. I call them. I send them emails. I send them letters. You have no idea. I am the worst nightmare. I am the squeakiest wheel out there, and I am not being heard.
And so you've done all this. This sounds so familiar. It sounds like a broken system. And I want to remind everyone that the reason why we're talking about this right now is Sherry is you.
Yeah.
Sherry's you if, let's say, that a flock camera picks you up and says you're doing 75 and a 35 and sends you a ticket for $800, and then you get to court and you're like, yeah, I wasn't driving the car. And they're like, yeah, well, we don't have a picture of it. It's your car. So you actually have to pay the $700.
Yeah.
So the system is designed, it's fundamentally broken. And these aren't judges, they're just advocates for these hired henchmen, which means you're nothing but a slave.
Yep.
They've proven that they can actually make it so that pedophiles get out after raping. As long as you don't rape the same child more than twice, then you don't go to jail.
Disgusting.
And if you want to kill your kid, you can kill your kid in Colorado all the way up to the day that he's born. Imagine that.
Can't.
We have got to get to a place where we hold people accountable, where there's accountability, because that is a functioning, thriving society. Right now, what we have is a shell of its former self.
And you know what else, Joe? I think the problem is that we all just accept it and go, that's the system. It's how it is.
It's not
how
the way
is
I'm
it?
built.
Me either.
There's more
Me
people
either.
like us, by the way, that are not willing to do it. And they put good people inside of positions as police officers and in order to basically be the backbone behind the system. And then you have these corrupt judges and corrupt lawyers that basically have stolen everything from the American people.
And it festers and they allow it. It's like they create it to breed.
Well, we have much more we're going to do on this. We'll have a follow-up with you. Thanks for coming to the studio with us.
Thank you.
We're going to reach out to Dan Wolf. We'll also reach out to some of the other people that are involved in this, other lawyers.
I know Patrick called the trustee and David Miller, but they haven't contacted him back. So
Patrick, you reached out to them, they didn't call you back? All right, well, let's continue to follow up with them, and let's get some stories out, and let's do some exposés on them, right? Let's get some exposés and do some digging on the trustee and these other attorneys. Look, the one thing I can tell you about me, Sherry, is that I am my brother's keeper. So I want to make sure that we tell the story that is affecting everyone out there.
I agree.
And if you think about it, our judiciary's rotted, our education system's rotted.
Totally.
They're holding our kids hostage.
Yep.
They're doing things to groom and indoctrinate the next group of people. And I have to tell you, I think most kids are waking up to this reality, and parents have had enough. But now we have to find a way to stand up and fight against this. So we're going to help you do that. Well,
I'm here to help you too, Joe. So I want to be part of this movement. This is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, it is. It is a bunch of bullshit. Look, I want to, if I could say this last thing before we go, right? And then I'm going to pray it out. And Sherry, I'm going to ask for you to have some peace, because I think you need peace. Above all else, the one thing that people who have been wrongfully taken advantage of is they just want peace.
Yes.
Peace.
Amen.
But I am going to say this. At some point, we're going to have a reconciliation. At some point, we're going to have to stop and look at the elephant in the room that shows that they are basically taking everything, all the meat off the bone, leaving us just enough to survive. It doesn't matter what level, because the net, the squares have become so small that at any moment they can take whatever they want. And it's just, these are fundamental rights. Fundamental rights. All right. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. You go see all the fun stuff that we have over there. With everything that we're saying, there still is hope, because frankly, we're fighters. And we have to continue to fight the battles that come before us. And look, nobody said that life was going to be fair. I think this is an indication of that. I think Michael's deal is an indication of that. I will say this, the DOJ has some obligations to the people to uphold. And it shouldn't take a show where 400,000, 500,000, 600,000 people see it in order to get that done. So, Sherry, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
How can people reach out to you? If people want to reach out to you,
well, you can email me at smcgann, smcgann, at judicial-alchemy.com.
Spell that.
JUDICIAL -alchemy, ALCHEMY.com.
You know why I said that?
Yes.
It's not just the young people that can't spell.
No.
We have trouble at every level for spelling.
And if I can help anyone, email me. I am free service, pro se. If it can just, like Joe said, give you peace for a minute, let me help you. I'm here for that.
All right, let's pray it out. Sherry, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. Father God, thank you for this time that we've had together. Thank you for Michael and Steve. Even though Steve is a Dallas Cowboys fan, Father, we just know that you're not a Dallas Cowboy fan. You're probably a Steelers fan. But we thank you for the time that we were able to help with those great men that have been fighting for 16 years and show just the ability to have that spirit to fight against what is wrong. Father, we are grateful for Sherry. We're grateful for not only the story that she's told about what's gone on, this unfairness that's happened over the last 7 years, but we also want to highlight her courage and thank you for her ability, her tenacity to stay in the gap and do what is necessary to hold people accountable. And yet, Father, as we see these wrongdoings against people, we can see more now and more clearly now that it is systemic, that this is a system that was designed to take from good people what was never theirs to take. So we ask you, Father, to give Sherry peace, give Mike and Steve peace. As you help them through this journey to get to a place of accountability, I ask you, Father, that people can rise up around them, protect them, and show the disdain for the evil people that have done evil things to them. We also, Father, know that we're at that place. We're at that place where it's the final hour. We can see the institutional rot. We can see the evil in its purest form. So we just ask you, Father, to give us a voice collectively, to stand in the gap with us, and to help us be instruments for the greater good of restoration, restoring you to our community and to our country. Father, we're grateful again for the opportunity to be born at a time such as this and to be a part of fighting against this evil. We say these things, Father, humbly in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you, by the way, for whoever told me to take my hat off when I pray. I think you're right. I probably should always take my hat off when I pray. And by the way, God is definitely 100% not a Dallas Cowboy fan. He 100% is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I don't care what you say. I mean, look, I was sleeping one day and I woke up and I was like, wow. And I saw it as clear as day. There was Jesus walking along. He's wearing a cap and it said Pittsburgh Steelers on it. So, all right. Sherry, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you.
Yeah,
right.
Thank you.
Remember to hit the up button on the way out. Make sure that you share us. You're the ambassadors of truth. And more importantly, these stories are about people in our community. These are our brothers and sisters. And so as I reach out to some of you, you'll notice I never ask you. I never ask you what political party you're at or, how'd you vote, right? And how do you feel about this social issue? It shouldn't matter. You have to learn to accept each other where we are, not where we want them to be, And frankly, none of that matters if we can't get to a place where we can have peace collectively. So God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow.
Rise up untamed in the heart of the fire where the wild ones roam. Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Break the mold, chase the real. No more games, time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew.